Hello, Steve White, Trek White 89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, I just watched Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 6, The Bounty. It was amazing. I just did a review that was like 15 minutes long. I'm like, no, do a shorter one. Because sometimes I'm just sort of talking through my experience. I don't even know what I'm saying half the time. But yeah, this was amazing. We got Data back. I'm shocked we got Data back. I can't just do it in order. I just have to go straight to that. We got Data back. I didn't think that was going to happen. When I saw Brent Spiner, I thought it was Lore. Now, people did bring up the fact, why is Lore wearing a Starfleet uniform? And I didn't really get into that. I just sort of thought, well, they had to put him in something, I guess. He couldn't be running around naked. I didn't think too much about it. But no, it's Data. Basically, in Picard, the idea was they were going to give Data a synthetic body so he could finally be a real flesh and blood boy, basically. But then they gave it to they gave it to Picard because they're idiots. And I thought, God, what a missed opportunity for Data to finally be human, and for Brent Spiner to be able to play the character again and not have to worry about aging. And because he felt like, I can't convincingly play this character as I get older because he doesn't age. Like, well, why can't we just have Data say, I didn't like being immortal, I wanted to age, so I'm altering my body each year so that I resemble an aging human. They could have explained it easily. Hell, they did it with Whoopi Goldberg when she was in the show. Because she's not supposed to age, her character, although I didn't feel like she really looked any older, she just looked heavier. And they explained that, and I'm like, you could have just ignored the fact she was heavier, because that made her look younger, because when you have, excess fat and that, it, stretches out the skin, you don't have as many wrinkles and lines, and she looked younger even though she was heavier. They could have ignored that. They addressed that with a line. Why couldn't they address Data? All you needed was a couple of lines in a scene to establish that he wanted to appear to age like a human being. That they could have got around it really easily, but they made a mess out of it. They destroyed him. They killed him, which was the whole point of that season, was like to give Data a death. He got to live as he wanted to die. And I'm like, okay. But they brought him back. Basically, his father, the next generation post Nemesis era Soong, because there's Soongs in every era, played by Brent Spiner. He basically was not entirely happy with giving up his golem for Picard, so he was basically working on a synthetic body for Data, and he decided not to make himself his final experiment, his masterpiece, and to bring Data back. And he was in the process of doing that. He was having trouble integrating all the information, because they had before Data's memory dump, and all that was him. And they also had Lore, and they also had lulls. And before they had all these datas, basically they had to try and integrate. And he died before he could finish that. So basically, they I can't do this. This is not working. This is going to have to be a separate thing, because I really need to go through the story, and this is the end of the story, and I've just put it right up the front now to go backwards to go into anything else. But we got Data back, and I can't believe we got Data back, and that's how we got Data back. Basically, they beamed him off. He was basically being used as the mainframe, basically, for the Daystrom Institute and the AI, that he was the AI there. They pulled him out, they brought him back, and Geordi basically put him back online, although he does have multiple personalities with what do you call things that separate things? They're sort of separate, but he's engaging in all of them. So he's going to have a split personality through this season, and multiple personality. But he was Data for a while, and we got to see Data and Geordi speak again. Got to see Picard and Data. It's just amazing to have Data back, and to have him finally be a real flesh and blood boy. Have Pinocchio realize his dream, and to be a real person, because a synthetic body is basically a real person, and to have he's going to have real emotions and real experiences, and finally get to be, everything he was, sort of planned to be back in the day, a totally synthetic, realistic human, recreated human that has the same experiences and life that a human would. So it's amazing to see them finally do that. And to see Data have that, and also to see now Brent be free to play Data until the end of his days, basically, because he can age along with the character. So that was amazing. And also, he finally revealed what was stolen from Daystrom, which I'm not going to get into. This is just going to be a video about Data. I think this will just be oh my God, we got Data back. I'm just really happy because they, like I said, they could have explained it several ways. They could have just said, you know, I want my body to age, and they could have had Brent continue to play him. They could have put him in a synthetic body in Picard. They're doing it now. And I think it works. And I'm just happy. We've got Data back because I didn't want to lose him in Nemesis. I didn't enjoy losing him in Nemesis. And then to get him back and lose him again in Picard, like, oh, he wanted to die? I'm like, no, I think he would have wanted to live forever. I mean, eventually die, but, you know, he wouldn't have chosen. I didn't like the way they ended that. So I'm glad they threw all that out. We've got him back, and they got past all the issues, and we've got Data back in a way that we can have him permanently now. As long as Brent Spiner lives, we can have Data in whatever future incarnations of Star Trek come along. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. This is my random We Got Data Back video. Bye.